Good evening. Monday, the 7th of June, 2021, the COVID series. And here we are at Tikkaratoli, my home. Now, during the COVID pandemic, a lot of things have occurred. Primarily, the downturn in the economy, businesses going to the wall, economy going to bits, which has also resulted in the breakdown in inter-family relationships, the onset of increased divorce is quite evident during the pandemic time. Now, on the other hand, to succeed, one has to be very gutsy. You got to work very hard. You got to be ruthless. You got to be thick-skinned. You got to be persistent, stubborn, and you got to have the skin of an owl. You got to work very, very hard. And if you do have all these ingredients, and if you are willing to stick it out, the chances of you succeeding are quite bright, because it's going to be hard. So you got to fight it out. Now, the champion of this hard-fought success battle in contemporary times is by far Mr. Steve Jobs. There's no one like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a perfectionist. He was very hardworking, but he was also very, very cussed with all his employees. But he used to go into the minutest of details, and he used to produce. And he delivered great results. Now, every time Steve Jobs came on the scene, he would, in his blue jeans and in his black turtleneck sweater, he created quite a frenzy. He brought out all the world's best products in his Apple range, and whenever he did that, he created a frenetic buying spree. Buying spree running into literally billions of dollars in a matter of days. And these sales would run overnight, 24 hours. It was crazy all over the world. And no one ever did it like Steve Jobs. But when you come down to Steve Jobs, he, as I said, was almost recluse-like, both in his own professional life and interpersonal life, mostly in interpersonal life. And he carried that on with his children, which is very unfortunate, because, he didn't allow his children to see TV. He was very curt with them. He didn't even give them an Apple phone, so they say. So, Steve Jobs has been documented very, very widely in B schools. His success stories have been documented and enumerated. There's even a film on Jobs. But they also say, routinely people are standing in conferences and in B schools, and they talk of Steve Jobs, and someone will put their finger up and they say, "What? But this guy was a maniac. He was a jerk. And you want me to be like a jerk to succeed? No, I don't want to do that." But that was Steve Jobs. He also went on to create the first $1 trillion company in the whole world. That was Apple. $1 trillion. Today, the goodness knows, well past $1.5 trillion. And that was Steve Jobs' view. Now, how does this reflect with your day-to-day life? As we talked of success, the ingredients of success. What about where does the element of happiness fit in, which is described largely as a mirage, full of emotional content like happiness, joy, contentment, satisfaction? Where does this come in? And if it does, where does it fit in? Why are people getting divorced? Why is the divorce rate gone up? Even Bill Gates is divorced, Jeff Bezos is divorced. What is creating all these things? They say that Steve Jobs didn't particularly have a wonderful personal life. So is it because they're working too hard that they sacrifice the personal life? As it is, in the pandemic, your personal life is screwed. So now if you achieve the ultimate of success, does that also mean your personal life is screwed? Why is that? Is it because they haven't looked at sex? Has that been forgotten? Sex, in being in the present with reciprocity, creates all kinds of ultimate sex, supreme sex. But if you don't do it, if you don't be in the present, then you're not going to get the desired results. Steve Jobs had to be in the present when he used to go into the minute detail of all his product range. Any tennis player, any cricket opening batsman, any baseball batter has to be in the present, because if they're not in the present, they will not be able to see the ball coming down at them at over 100 miles an hour, and they will be dead. So you've got to be in the present. And if you're in the present, you can stroke the ball well, and you can also have great sex. It's quite crazy. So what I'm saying is that to be in the present can perhaps be the fulcrum to providing the ultimate in success, not only in the project you're in, but also in interpersonal relationships, and keep them grounded. And maybe sex can be the alchemy by being in the present and reciprocity to get you places. Think about it. Goodbye.